Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I get a halter on a still somewhat anxious horse. This is Forrest. He's a roughly 5 or 6 year old paint gelding. He was basically an auction rescue. He's been through the ringer, hasn't had much handling at all. He's pretty feral, and so all of this previously stuff is just showing you a little bit of the work I've done with him to build up to this point. Now he's getting more friendly and more willing to be pet and all of that sort of stuff, much more used to humans. It's been a bit of a process with him, but it's much needed right now, especially with how his feet are. His feet were pretty bad in the footage from this video. As of right now when I'm editing it, his feet are better. They're not 100%, but they are better, and a lot of this is just so that we can tackle those feet. There's a lot of different ways to get a halter on a horse for the first time. Some people like roping their horses, some people like using positive reinforcement and having the horse halter themselves. Some people want their horse to be calm enough that they could just walk up and put the halter on one day. For him, he needs a little bit of between roping and just putting it on. So basically what I do is I do my best to desensitize him to me just tossing the rope around, and then I toss it over his back or his neck, whatever I can get it over. So here I got it close to his withers on his neck, and so I just flicked it around and got it up. Then I went over and pet on him and then grabbed the crown of the halter and then pulled it around so it creates a loop around his neck. Now I have a bit of control on him, and I can start working on just giving to pressure and just getting used to having some restraint on him. I also, in this first part, I put the halter across his neck backwards. So you want the halter to hang on the left side of their neck instead of the right side, so that when you go to do it how I do it, it's super simple. The way I tossed it over the first time, it doesn't allow you to just smoothly slide the halter over their face. You have to basically just go halter them like you would normally halter a horse. He was really good about giving into pressure and stuff, so I was taking that opportunity with the rope just around his neck to work on that, because all of this work will tie into him actually leading. So at this point in the video, this is where I figured out that I put it on backwards. It's been a while since I've done a first haltering on a horse, so I didn't do it the perfect way the first time, so I just threw it over him, threw it over his back, and you could see me flick up the rope where I need it so that it's roughly where it should lay when I go to pick it up again. Now that I kind of have a chance to, I want to explain a little bit of why I am doing it this way with Forrest and why it's the best plan of action for a horse like him who is still nervous but needs to get a halter on him. So obviously horses are prey animals, and so they have their eyes on the sides of their head, which means that they have a blind spot directly in front of them and directly behind them, but they can see nearly everything else. So when you go to slip a halter over their neck or slip your arm over their neck and the halter under like you would halter a horse normally, you're going to put your stuff in many blind spots and then pop them back out in a seen spot. Well, you're going to be on one side and your halter is going to end up on the other, and so your horse is going to see that halter on the other side. And a lot of times, especially when they're a little bit nervous like Forrest still is, they see that and they panic a little bit and they can run into you because they're just trying to get away from the most scary thing, which is what just surprised them. And you can see him where he noticed that halter in his other eye. Luckily he was really good about it, but if he wasn't going to be super good about it, I am in a good spot to get away, make myself safe, make sure he's safe. Also, because I tossed the halter on the other side of him already, he's seen it already, and it's mostly going to still be in that eye, in that other eye, so he's not super likely to spook towards me, and if he did spook towards me, he has space to get away. Also notice where my feet are and where my hip is and everything in that position while I was tying the halter. So I did that so that my body can easily be pulled away from him if he were to blow up. He was really, really good with all of this. Not all horses are going to be really good about it, especially with the more feral or wild ones. So I was playing it safe, keeping my feet away, keeping my center of gravity away from him so that I could easily get out of the way if he needed space to kind of recircle or lose it or whatever he needed to do there. Luckily he was awesome, but I was still trying to play it safe. So now with leading, I started out by staying far away from him so that he had a space to move to. Obviously when you're asking a horse to move, you need to provide them the ability to have the right answer. If I am just in front of him and in his stop zone, which when you're starting to teach them to lead, you're going to end up in their stop zone. It's inevitable. So allowing him space to move and give to the pressure and not be blocked by my body is what he needed to have success. Then as he got more confident and was understanding what I was asking, I moved to staying more towards his side and allowing him space to move more towards my side. But at the beginning stage, he's not going to understand that very well, not going to understand staying up with me, so that's why I stayed out further away until he was more confident with me getting close. Overall, this big sweet boy really did exceed my expectations. I was not expecting it to go as well or as calm as it did, just given his history with being spooky and nervous and all of that. So yeah, I'm really excited where he's going, and I'll see you guys in the next video.